Welcome in. Take a breath and let your shoulders drop. This is not the space where we hype you up for 5 minutes and leave you confused again. This is the space where your mind gets clear, your heart gets steady, and your standards get strong. Because if you have ever been loved loudly and abandoned quietly, if you have ever been promised forever and then handed excuses, if you have ever carried a whole relationship while the other person carried only their appetite, then you already know why this message matters. Heaven whispers. God is sending a younger provider, not a player, a builder for your future. And I know that word younger can trigger doubts, opinions, and fears. But stay with me for the next few minutes, because what you are about to hear will not flatter you. It will strengthen you. It will help you recognize the difference between attention and intention before you waste another season. Before we go deeper, subscribe now. Do it early, not later. Because content like this is not meant to be consumed once. It is meant to train your discernment. Your environment is loud, people talk, emotions rise, and one message is not enough to keep you steady. Subscribe and stay. Close so your mind stays renewed and your decisions stay clean. Now, let's start with something simple and real. Many people want a provider, but they keep choosing players. Not because they are stupid, because the nervous system gets addicted to certain patterns. If you grew up around inconsistency, chaos can feel normal. If you were loved with conditions, you can confuse anxiety with passion. If you were abandoned before, you can mistake intensity for safety because intensity feels like proof. Players understand this. They know how to trigger your dopamine. They know how to say the right thing, do the right thing, show up strong in the beginning, and then slowly reduce effort once they have access. A builder is the opposite. A builder is not trying to win a moment. A builder is trying to build a life. So tonight, today, whenever you are listening to this, I want you to stop asking the shallow questions. Stop asking, are they younger? Start asking, are they stable? Stop asking, do they look ready? Start asking, do they live ready? Stop asking, do people approve? Start asking, does peace increase? Because age is a number, character is a pattern, and your future will not be protected by a number. Your future will be protected by a pattern. Let's define it clearly. A player wants access. A builder wants alignment. A player wants benefits. A builder wants responsibility. A player is interested in your body, your attention, your energy, your softness. A builder is interested in your whole life, your well-being, your future, your peace. A player says, trust me, while avoiding accountability. A builder proves trust through consistency. A player loves urgency because urgency reduces discernment. A builder respects timing because timing protects legacy. Now let's talk about provider, because a lot of people misunderstand this word. A provider is not only someone who has money. Money can be temporary. Money can be borrowed. Money can be performed. A provider is a mindset. A provider sees weight and does not run from it. A provider sees needs and does not mock them. A provider does not get offended when you talk about real life. A provider does not collapse when responsibility enters the room. A provider is the kind of person who can build a home emotionally, practically, spiritually, and financially. A provider covers. That does not mean controls. That does not mean owns you. It means they protect the relationship from things that destroy relationships. They protect time. They protect dignity. They protect focus. They protect peace. They protect the future. And yes, sometimes God sends that provider in a younger body, because God is not impressed by age. God is impressed by fruit. God is impressed by discipline. God is impressed by integrity. God is impressed by humility. God is impressed by a person who can hold success without losing their soul. God is impressed by someone who can have options and still choose loyalty. That is why heaven whispers this kind of message. Not to make you chase youth, not to make you chase money, to make you stop chasing people who do not have the capacity to build what you are praying for. Let's get even more real. Some of you have dated older, people who were still emotionally 16. Older did not mean mature. Older did not mean faithful. Older did not mean responsible. Older did not mean serious. Older just meant older. And you are tired of that embarrassment. You are tired of building dreams with people who cannot build habits. You are tired of carrying conversations, carrying plans, carrying emotional labor, carrying finances, carrying forgiveness, carrying everything. You are tired of being called strong when what you really are is unsupported. So when heaven says God is sending a younger provider, it is also saying God is ending the season where you carry alone. But there is a warning inside this whisper, because blessings are lost when people do not know how to recognize them. A builder can feel too calm to a heart addicted to drama. A builder can feel too steady to a mind trained by chaos. A builder can feel too respectful to someone who is used to fighting for basic decency. So God trains your heart before the builder arrives. He retrains your taste. He retrains your attraction. He retrains your tolerance. That training might look like this. You get bored faster with unserious conversations. You feel irritated by inconsistency. You lose the appetite for late-night confusion. You stop being impressed by words. You start craving structure. You start craving effort that repeats. You start craving peace that stays. If that is happening to you, it is not you becoming cold. It is you becoming ready. Now, let's talk psychology for a moment. In simple language, a player often creates an emotional roller coaster. High highs, low lows. They disappear, then return. They love bomb, then withdraw. That unpredictability stimulates your brain. It can feel like chemistry, but it is often anxiety. Your brain starts chasing the next high, the next text, the next apology, the next moment of affection. This is how people get addicted to someone who is not safe. A builder does the opposite. A builder creates predictability. And predictability can feel unfamiliar if your past was unstable. But predictability is what the nervous system needs to trust. If your body can relax around someone, that is not weakness. That is safety. If your mind is not spiraling, that is not boredom. That is stability. So when you hear younger provider, hear a calmer kind of love that still has purpose. Now let's clarify the word rich, because I refuse to let your audience be misled. Wealth without character is not a blessing. It is a risk. Money without integrity can become manipulation. Provision without loyalty becomes pain with a nice outfit. Success without humility becomes control. So when we say provider, we mean more than income. We mean capacity. We mean discipline. We mean someone who can carry responsibility consistently. Someone who can build, not just spend. Because a player can spend money. A builder builds stability. A player can buy gifts. A builder buys peace. A player can impress your eyes. A builder protects your future. So the question is not, does he have money? The real question is, does he have a provider's character? Here are the signs. A builder has direction. Not perfect, but clear. They do not drift for years. They do not live in excuses. They do not treat life like a joke. A builder respects your time. They do not waste your days and call it love. They plan, they show up, they communicate. A builder is consistent when it is inconvenient. They are not only sweet when they want something, they are steady in normal seasons. They are steady under stress. A builder honors boundaries. They do not pressure your body. They do not pressure your speed. They do not punish you for saying no. They do not guilt you into lowering standards. A builder repairs. They do not run from conflict. They do not turn every correction into a war. They do not disappear when they are confronted. They can apologize and change. A builder protects. They protect your reputation. They protect your dignity. They protect your peace. They do not embarrass you publicly and call it being real. They do not flirt with temptation and call you insecure. Now, I want you to hear this slowly. You do not need to argue with players. You need to starve them. You stop feeding them access. You stop feeding them attention. You stop feeding them chances that cost you your peace. Because every time you tolerate a player, you delay your builder. And some of you are going to feel convicted right here. Because you already know the person you keep entertaining is not serious. You already know they avoid clarity. You already know they show up only when it benefits them. You already know they dislike boundaries. You already know they cannot talk about the future without changing the subject. You already know they keep you emotionally thirsty, and you keep calling that love. That ends today, because heaven is whispering that your next spouse is not coming to play games with you. Your next spouse is coming to build, and builders do not compete with confusion. Builders do not fight for a spot in your chaos. Builders look for peace. Builders look for maturity. Builders look for a partner who is also ready. So let me say something important. If you want a builder, become a builder. Not perfect. Ready. Ready to communicate without punishing. Ready to set boundaries without guilt. Ready to receive love without suspicion. Ready to be soft without losing standards. Ready to be confident without arrogance. Ready to protect privacy without shame. Because a builder is not attracted to drama. A builder is not attracted to endless tests. A builder is not attracted to a person who needs chaos to feel alive. A builder is attracted to peace. A builder is attracted to clarity. A builder is attracted to growth. So God trains you to become a safe place for a safe person. Now, because this message is for marriage and future spouse preparation, let's talk about what you must clarify early, especially with a younger partner. Do not build attachment before alignment. Attachment is emotional bonding. Alignment is shared values, shared direction, shared maturity. Many people attach first, then try to force alignment later. That is how they end up stuck. That is how they end up rationalizing red flags. That is how they end up praying for someone to become who they pretended to be. So you do it the wise way. You talk. You observe. You let time reveal. You let patterns speak. And yes, you can do it gently. You do not have to interrogate. You simply live with standards and watch who rises. Here are the conversations a builder will not fear. What does marriage mean to you? What does loyalty look like in practice? How do you handle money? Do you save, budget, invest, or do you spend emotionally? How do you handle stress? How do you handle conflict? Do you repair or do you punish? What are your boundaries with friends, attention, and temptation? What kind of home do you want to build? What is your faith or values foundation? How do you see roles and responsibility in a marriage? What is your timeline and intention? A player will avoid these questions. A builder will respect them now. Let's address the fear that shows up for many people. What if I invest and they leave? This fear is normal if you have been hurt. But here is the truth. You cannot build anything meaningful without vulnerability. What you can do is build wisely. Wisdom is your protection. Standards are your protection. Time is your protection. Patterns are your protection, so instead of becoming cold, become clear. And instead of becoming suspicious, become discerning. Discernment is calm. Discernment watches, discernment asks. Discernment requires consistency. Fear accuses. Fear rushes. Fear withdraws. Fear ruins. God is not leading you by fear. God is training you through wisdom. Now there is another side of this message that many people need to hear. Sometimes God sends a younger provider to restore joy. Not childish joy, healthy joy. The kind of joy that makes life lighter without making life irresponsible. Some of you have been surviving for so long that you forgot what it feels like to be cared for. You forgot what it feels like to be pursued with respect. You forgot what it feels like to be supported without begging. So when God sends a builder, it feels like relief. Relief from confusion. Relief from carrying alone. Relief from being someone's option. Relief from half effort. Relief from emotional hunger. And that relief can feel suspicious to a wounded heart, because pain trains people to expect disappointment. So God trains you before the relief arrives. He teaches you to receive without panic. He teaches you to relax without becoming careless. He teaches you to enjoy peace without searching for problems. Now listen. This is where your audience will gain power. A player wants you desperate. A builder wants you secure. A player benefits from your insecurity because insecure people accept less. A builder benefits from your confidence because confident people build well. So if you want a builder, stop shrinking your needs. Stop apologizing for standards. Stop acting like loyalty is too much to ask. Stop acting like consistency is a miracle. Consistency is basic spouse behavior. And if someone makes you feel guilty for requiring basic spouse behavior, they are revealing their level. Now, let's go deeper into the younger part, because that is where people get loud. People will say they are younger, they will change. People will say they are younger, they will be tempted. People will say they are younger, they are not serious. Here is your response. Quietly, strongly, without fighting. You do not judge by age. You judge by fruit, because temptation does not respect age. Cheating does not respect age. Immaturity does not respect age. People can be 50 and still reckless. People can be 35 and still dishonest. People can be 40 and still unstable. So, again, we choose fruit, discipline, integrity, accountability, vision, consistency, respect, repair, peace. Now, I want to give your audience a simple checklist. This helps them stop wasting time fast. If you see these patterns, you are likely dealing with a player. They rush intimacy but avoid commitment. They love vague talk but hate clear plans. They show up when they want something. They disappear when responsibility comes. They get angry at boundaries. They punish you with silence. They twist your words. They blame you for their inconsistency. They keep you anxious. They keep you guessing. If you see these patterns, you are likely dealing with a builder. They are patient. They respect boundaries. They communicate clearly. They plan. They are consistent. They take responsibility. They repair quickly. They protect your dignity. They invest in the future. They make peace increase over time. Now, one more important truth. A builder is not perfect. A builder is purposeful. A builder will still have growth areas, but they will have a teachable spirit. They will not be proud and uncorrectable. They will not be defensive and dismissive. They will not be irresponsible and entitled. They will be willing to learn, willing to adjust, willing to build. So do not look for perfection. Look for posture. Now, let me talk about a trap that destroys good relationships. Overexposure. Some of you tell everybody everything. You announce too early. You share too much. You let too many opinions touch your seed. And then you wonder why you feel confused. Privacy protects peace. Privacy protects growth. Privacy protects love from unnecessary interference. Privacy is not shame. Privacy is wisdom. So when heaven whispers about a builder coming, it is also calling you into a quieter life, a cleaner circle, less gossip, less explaining, less seeking approval, more building, more clarity, more focus, because your future home cannot be built in a noisy environment. Now, stay with me, because the next part of this message is where the shift becomes practical. I am going to take everything we have said and turn it into a clear blueprint for how you prepare your life for a builder, how you stop attracting players, how you keep your standards without becoming harsh, and how you recognize a real provider before you attach your heart. Not theory, real steps. But before we go there, I want you to do something right now. Comment one sentence: I am ready for a builder. Not as a cute comment, as a decision. Because when you name your standard, you stop negotiating it in private. And share this message with a friend who keeps confusing chaos for love. You might be the interruption that saves them years. And remember the anchor truth of today. Heaven is not sending you a player to entertain you. Heaven is sending you a builder to protect your future. Your job is to be clear, be ready, and stop feeding what drains you. Now let's turn this into something practical, because hope without structure is how people stay stuck. And I do not want you inspired for one night and confused again tomorrow. I want you prepared. I want you clear. I want you able to recognize a builder early, not after you are already attached. First, we have to talk about why players keep showing up in the same life. It is not always bad luck. It is often an open door, not a spiritual door only, a psychological door, a pattern door, a tolerance door, a door called I keep accepting what I should immediately decline. Players do not chase standards. Players chase access. They look for people who confuse chemistry with character. They look for people who will negotiate boundaries. They look for people who are lonely enough to ignore red flags. They look for people who will stay quiet when they feel disrespected. They look for people who will carry the relationship so the player can enjoy benefits with little effort. So, if you want a builder, your first job is not searching harder. Your first job is closing the doors players keep using. Here are the doors, and I want you to be honest while you listen. Door 1. Quick intimacy without commitment. When you give deep access before clear intention, you train the wrong person to stay. You teach them they can receive spouse benefits while offering seasonal effort. A builder will not require you to rush. A player will. A builder is patient. A player is urgent. Door 2. Unclear standards. If your standards are hidden, they will be tested. If your standards are weak, they will be ignored. Standards do not need to be loud. They need to be consistent. Door 3. Fear of being alone. This is a big one. Fear makes you accept crumbs. Fear makes you excuse disrespect. Fear makes you lower timelines. Fear makes you overfunction. Fear makes you settle and call it wisdom. Door 4. Over-explaining. When you keep explaining your boundaries, you turn them into debates. A boundary is not a debate. It is a line. Calm line. Clear line. Door 5. Emotional gambling. This is when you keep investing in someone who is inconsistent and you call it hope. Hope without evidence becomes self-betrayal. Now breathe. This is not condemnation. This is empowerment. Because the moment you see the door, you can close it. And closing it is not punishment. It is protection. Now here is the next truth. A builder does not just arrive. A builder recognizes builders. Healthy people look for healthy people. Stable people look for stable people. A provider mindset is attracted to a partner who values building, not just receiving. So yes, God can send a builder, but you must become a safe environment for a builder to stay. That is where many people miss their blessing. Not because the blessing did not come, but because the environment was too chaotic, too noisy, too reactive, too suspicious, too unhealed, too unstructured. Not because the person was evil, but because the relationship did not have a foundation. So let's build your foundation right now, step by step. Step 1. Upgrade your filters. Most people filter partners by feelings. A builder filters by fruit. Your new filters are simple. Does their effort repeat? Do they show up on ordinary days? Do they communicate with clarity? Do they handle stress without becoming cruel? Do they respect boundaries without punishment? Do they apologize and adjust? Do they have direction? Do they manage money responsibly? Do they protect your dignity? Do they plan for the future? A player can answer these questions with words. A builder answers with patterns. So your filter is not what they say. Your filter is what repeats. Step 2. Stop rewarding the wrong energy. This is where your discipline changes your life. If someone is inconsistent, do not reward them with full access. If someone is vague, do not reward them with emotional intimacy. If someone is disrespectful, do not reward them with your softness. If someone is impatient with your boundaries, do not reward them with your time, because whatever you reward will repeat. People learn how to treat you by what you tolerate and what you reward. A builder will not be offended by this. A builder will respect you more. Step 3. Learn the difference between generosity and provision. This is important, especially when the person is younger and successful. Generosity can be spontaneous. Provision is consistent. A player may give you a big gift early. Then they will use it to gain control. They will say, "After all I did for you." That is not love. That is leverage. A builder provides in a way that does not shame you and does not control you. Their support feels safe. Their support feels steady. Their support comes with respect. So do not be blinded by grand gestures. Watch daily responsibility. Does this person pay their obligations on time? Do they have a plan for their money? Do they budget? Do they save? Do they invest? Do they handle pressure without panic spending? Do they have discipline with lifestyle choices? Because the goal is not to marry a spender. The goal is to marry a stable builder. Step 4. Have the conversations that protect you. If you are marriage-focused, your conversations must become more adult. Not aggressive, adult. A builder will not run from these. A player will. You must talk about values. What matters most in life? Faith and character. How do you live your values when nobody is watching? Money. How do you spend, save, invest, and give? Debt. What are your financial responsibilities? Lifestyle. What kind of life do you want to build? Family. What role does family have? And what boundaries will protect the home? Friends. What boundaries exist with opposite sex, friendships, and attention? Conflict. Do you repair or punish? Communication. How do you talk when you are upset? Commitment. What does loyalty look like in real life? Marriage timeline. What is your intention and direction? Here is the key psychology. People with good intentions feel safer when you bring clarity. People with bad intentions feel exposed. So clarity is your protection. Step 5. Watch how they respond to not yet. This is one of the most accurate tests of character. A player hates not yet. They become irritated. They become distant. They become manipulative. They rush you. They guilt you. They punish. You, a builder, respects not yet. They stay consistent. They stay kind. They stay patient. They continue building. They do not treat your boundary like rejection. A mature spouse candidate knows that patience protects the future. Step 6. Build emotional safety, not emotional drama. This is where many people confuse love. Drama can feel like passion. Emotional safety feels calm. A builder builds emotional safety by being consistent, being honest, keeping their word, communicating clearly, repairing quickly, not using silence as punishment, not using jealousy as control, not using money as leverage, not using attention to manipulate. Your body will often tell you the truth. When you are with a builder, your nervous system relaxes over time. When you are with a player, your nervous system stays on alert. You keep guessing. You keep bracing. You keep overthinking. Peace is not boring. Peace is proof of safety. Step 7. Handle the age gap with wisdom, not fear now. Let's go straight to the part people judge. When a partner is younger, society tries to make you feel foolish. But the real danger is not the age gap. The real danger is a power gap. So you must build balance early. Balance looks like both people contribute. Both people carry responsibilities. Both people can lead themselves. Both people have a voice. Both people respect each other's boundaries. Both people can repair. Both people are accountable. If the younger person is serious, they will not want to be carried. They will want to build. If the older person is healthy, they will not want to control. They will want partnership. When those two energies meet, the age difference becomes a strength, not a weakness. It can strengthen the marriage because it forces intention. It forces real conversations. It forces humility. It forces maturity. It forces a focus on fruit instead of appearances. Step 8. Protect your relationship from outside noise. This is where many potential marriages die before they start. Not from cheating, not from disrespect, from contamination. Too many opinions, too much access, too much explaining, too many people holding your seed with careless hands. Privacy is not secrecy. Privacy is protection. You do not need to announce everything. You do not need to post everything. You do not need to defend your choices to everyone. You do not need to debate your future with people who do not build your life. A builder will appreciate this because builders value peace. And hear this clearly. If you keep the relationship clean, time will do the defending. Fruit will do the defending. Consistency will do the defending. You do not have to fight critics. Step 9. Do not turn a provider into a savior. This is a psychological trap. If you look for someone to save you, you will attract control. If you look for someone to partner with you, you will attract stability. A provider spouse is not a rescue mission. It is a shared mission. So you must keep your own growth. Keep your own discipline. Keep your own self-respect. Keep your own boundaries. Keep your own identity. Because healthy providers respect strength. They do not fear it. They do not compete with it. They build with it. Step 10. Know the difference between love and leverage. This is where many people get trapped by money or gifts. Love feels safe. Leverage feels heavy. Love gives without keeping score. Leverage gives and then demands. Love supports and respects. Leverage supports and controls. Love protects your dignity. Leverage uses your dependence to reduce your dignity. If the person is generous but becomes angry when you say no, that generosity is not love. It is a transaction. A builder does not transact love. A builder invests in a future. Now, let's make this message personal in a way that heals. If you have been through relationships that drained you, it can be hard to believe a stable partner exists. Not because you are negative, but because your nervous system learned disappointment. Your mind learned to protect you by expecting less. That is why you may feel suspicious when a builder arrives. That suspicion is not proof that the person is wrong. It is proof that your past trained you to brace. So here is what you do. You do not punish the new person for the old pain. You do not rush into fantasy. You do not shut down. You do not test with silence. You do not accuse without evidence. You communicate. You watch patterns. You keep standards. You build slowly. You let trust grow through consistency. This is how healed people date. Now, let's talk about the biggest mistake that wastes years. People confuse potential with commitment. Potential is what someone could become. Commitment is what someone is consistently choosing now. Marriage is not built on potential. Marriage is built on consistent commitment. So if you are listening and you keep holding on to potential while the present is disrespectful, inconsistent, or unclear, you are not being loyal. You are being delayed. And this message is calling you back to your life. Now let's bring it to a simple blueprint you can follow. The Builder Blueprint standards first. No apologies, boundaries early, no debates, clarity conversations, no guessing games. Watch patterns, not moments. Time reveals truth. Do not rush. Protect privacy. Reduce opinions. Keep your own growth. Do not become dependent. Require partnership. Refuse imbalance. Measure by fruit, not age. Move with peace, not panic. If you follow this blueprint, you will stop losing time, because players do not stay where standards live. Now, I want to address a quiet fear many listeners have and do not admit. What if I demand too much and I lose them? Listen closely. If your standard is basic respect, basic consistency, basic clarity, basic loyalty, basic responsibility, then losing someone who cannot meet that is not a loss. It is protection. You are not here to beg someone into adulthood. You are not here to teach someone to value you. You are not here to carry a person who refuses to grow. A builder will not be scared by standards. A builder will be attracted to. Then, now, let's finish with a strong shift, because I want your audience to leave changed. This is your new mindset. You are no longer entertained by sweet words with empty patterns. You are no longer available for confusion. You are no longer impressed by urgency. You are no longer flattered by attention that fades. You are no longer shrinking your needs to keep someone close. You are no longer negotiating your peace. You are preparing for a builder. A younger provider who is meant for you will come with consistency, not chaos. They will come with patience, not pressure. They will come with clarity, not confusion. They will come with protection, not manipulation. They will come with partnership, not dependence. And when they arrive, you will recognize them because your standards will already be strong. Now take action and make it serious. Subscribe right now, because this is not entertainment. This is training, and training requires consistency. Like this video so it reaches the person who keeps mistaking players for partners. Comment, I choose builders, so you lock your standard in public and stop negotiating it in private. Share this with one friend who keeps losing years to vague love. Let today be the day you stop being impressed and start being protected. Heaven whispers, God is sending a younger provider, not a player, a builder for your future. And you will not miss what is meant for you, because you are learning to build before it arrives.